Well, new traffic light in Cave Springs is expected to make a busy intersection safer for drivers.
Yeah, the signal at Highway 112 was put in just about 2 weeks ago, and this is after multiple requests from city leaders. So as of this morning, the light is fully turned on. 5 News reporter Claire Everbach live at the intersection this morning with what drivers should know. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Tiffany. Well, if you've ever driven to or from Northwest Arkansas National Airport, you've likely passed this intersection behind me on Highway 112 and Healing Springs Road. Especially during peak traffic hours, this intersection can get extremely congested, and it's been a big safety concern for Cave Springs city leaders. Especially recently, because the light is now fully turned on, we're actually seeing a lot of backup. Even though it's only 6:30 in the morning, there's definitely a lot of people coming through here. City leaders say that this congestion, as well as safety concerns, is the reason that they've been pushing for years to get a traffic light installed here. And as of today, the light is now fully operating. The new signal was first turned on just 2 weeks ago, but before it could operate normally, the Arkansas Department of Transportation required a transition period. That means the light first flashed for a few days before temporarily becoming a 4-way stop and is now a normal traffic signal. City leaders say the intersection has seen backups and accidents, especially with drivers trying to turn onto the busy highway. And local first responders say the traffic has also slowed down their response times.
So many people use this road going to the airport and coming from the airport and everything. You know, it really congests everything. We've had to sometimes, especially rush hour, early morning, late evening stuff, you know, we've had to basically go out and turn around and come back or take other side streets and things like that. That's slowed our responses down.
The fire department says that this intersection has slowed down their response times up to 45 seconds. But now that the light is fully operational, and they've actually added a button in their building to alert the traffic signal to stop when they're sending crews out, they're hopeful that it'll make it faster and safer, not only for them, but for all drivers. Live in Cave Springs, covering news where you live, Claire Everbach, 5 News.
Thanks for that, Claire. Well, Fort Smith's Mayor George McGill will give his last State of the City address tonight. McGill is not running for mayor again in November. The address will happen at the U of A Fort Smith Pendergraft Campus Center, and it's scheduled to start at 6. You can watch on the city's Facebook or YouTube page. We'll have the highlights tonight here at 5 News.
In Fort Smith, the band director for Southside and Chapin Middle School was fired by the district at a special school board meeting. The board there voting to terminate James Palmer immediately. We don't know why Palmer was fired, but the school district said in a statement, quote, "There is nothing more important than the safety of all students, and we take every allegation of inappropriate behavior seriously." Now, they go on to say they will investigate all allegations. 5 News is working to learn more on the investigation and what the allegations were about. We'll bring you that update as soon as we have it. And Arkansas's governor signed a proclamation encouraging all high schools and colleges in the state to create a Turning Point or Club America chapter.
Yeah, CEO Erica Kirk joined the governor for the announcement on Wednesday. The proclamation does not require the creation of clubs. There's already 11 high schools in our region with Club America chapters. The founder of the one at Fayetteville High School is speaking out.
Some of those who are most opposed have come to us, they've spoken to us, they've understood that we're willing to understand multiple perspectives and that we just want to talk to them.
The Young Democrats of Arkansas held a news conference before the announcement. They say that they are not worried by the creation of these groups, but they say Democratic-based high school and college clubs should be welcomed in the same way.
And let me tell you this, to those students that are listening, if your high school or college refuses to let you start a club at your school, the Democratic Party of Arkansas has your back, like we always have. Our lawyers will have something to say about that.
Both press conferences are available to watch on demand over at 5 News Plus. We've also learned 3 protesters were arrested outside the governor's event after ASP says that they were involved in an altercation with attendees of the event. ASP says 2 state troopers were assaulted during the altercation. 1 was left injured. She's expected to be okay, but an investigation is underway.
Well, 6 new motions have been filed in the capital murder case against Andrew McGann. He's the man accused of killing 2 hikers at Devil's Den State Park last year. The latest motions from the defense focus on what evidence could be presented during a possible sentencing phase, including limits on victim impact statements and challenges to certain aggravating factors used to justify harsher punishment. Prosecutors are seeking the death penalty, but McGann has pleaded not guilty. His next court appearance is scheduled for April 1st. President Trump claiming victory in the war on Iran.
Speaking in Kentucky, he said that the war will continue until the job is done. The Pentagon says U.S. forces have hit roughly 5,000 targets in Iran over nearly 2 weeks. Hundreds have died. Wednesday, Israel announced more strikes on Tehran. This comes as the UN Security Council has called on Iran to stop its retaliatory strikes on other Gulf states. Meanwhile, the Strait of Hormuz is paralyzed after attacks on boats.
This doesn't sound like a war that, we can simply declare victory tomorrow.
We got to finish the job, right? We don't want to go back every 2 years.
In the turmoil, oil prices have spiked worldwide. Now the U.S. and other nations in the International Energy Agency say that they will release 400 million barrels from their strategic petroleum reserves. The president says that the U.S. will tap 172 million barrels starting next week. Well, here at home, AAA says that the statewide average in Arkansas is about $3.12. The price jump is not only because of Iran, but also from the switch over from winter to summer blend gasoline. A AAA spokesperson says the price of crude oil has just leveled out, which could potentially slow down the increases.
Good news is prices on crude oil have actually leveled off over the last several days. So there is potential hope that the increases will, maybe not be coming as swiftly as they have at our local stations, or pricing may begin to level off depending on, where the conflict goes next.
Even though topping off the tank costs more than it usually does, he says Arkansas is still one of the 10 states with the lowest statewide average.
And we're learning more about the cops who foiled what could have been a deadly attempted bomb attack in New York City this past weekend. 2 Pennsylvania teens face terrorism charges for throwing homemade bombs at a protest. NYPD Chief Aaron Edwards is seen leaping into action after a person threw what appeared to be a bomb into a crowd outside of the mayor's home. Sergeant Louis Navarro ran toward one of the lit homemade bombs.
To me, was to try to save as many lives as possible.
Well, the commissioner says that at least one bomb was jar wrapped in tape with nuts, bolts, screws, and a fuse inside. None of the devices exploded, though. Authorities say the suspects admitted to being inspired by ISIS.